We're going to use a really simple strategy to shift the workload away from the big day, so you can spend a lot less time stressing over a hot stove and way more time actually making memories.
So, what is this magical solution? Well, it's a simple, but honestly, a brilliant approach to holiday prep that moves the bulk of the work away from Thanksgiving Day itself.
That's it. That is the entire secret. Instead of this one-day, high-stress cooking marathon, you just turn it into a few totally manageable sessions spread out across the week. You make a list, you space it out, and you take back your Thanksgiving. Okay, you ready? Let's dive into the specifics. All right, first up, we're tackling the heavy hitters. The dishes everyone shows up for and absolutely loves. These are the cornerstones of the Thanksgiving table. And yes, you can 100% make them ahead of time. We're talking about stuffing, the savory heart and soul of the meal, and that sweet, crunchy, just decadent sweet potato casserole. Both of these can be pretty much completely done before Thanksgiving morning even starts. First on the list, a classic stuffing. We're not talking about some fussy, non-traditional recipe here. No, this is the comforting, familiar kind that just screams Thanksgiving. So the process is super straightforward. You build that incredible flavor base with your sautéed veggies and herbs, toss it out with your bread, and seriously, that tip about using flavored sourdough? Genius. It adds a whole other level of flavor. Then you get it all super moist with the broth, pop it in its dish, and into the fridge it goes. Done. Okay, listen up, because this is absolutely crucial. This is the make or break tip for this method. You have to pull that casserole out of the fridge and let it sit on the counter for a couple of hours. If you put an ice-cold, dense dish straight into the oven, you could literally double your cooking time, and that'll throw your whole day's schedule way off. All right, let's switch gears to our next classic, the sweet potato casserole. The one that perfectly walks that line between a savory side dish and a full-on dessert. The real key here starts with baking the sweet potatoes whole. It just concentrates all that natural sweetness and flavor in a way that boiling never could. Then, you mash it all up with the good stuff, butter, sugar, a little milk, and an egg to give it this light, almost soufflé-like texture, and spread it in the dish. And this is such a perfect example of the make-ahead strategy. You store the base and that delicious brown sugar pecan topping in separate containers. Why? Well, it's simple. That cold casserole needs a head start in the oven. If you put that sugary topping on from the very beginning, it would be totally burnt by the time the center is even warm. So the move is, bake the base first, then add the topping to finish it off. Perfect results, zero stress. Okay, this next section might be my favorite, because we are solving the single biggest Thanksgiving Day headache, oven space. These sides don't need it at all. First, let's talk about cranberry sauce. And we are leaving that canned, jiggly stuff in the dust for something truly special. This isn't just any old cranberry sauce, it's cranberry sauce extraordinaire. So what makes it so extraordinaire? Just look at this. It's packed with so much more than just cranberries. You've got the crispness from fresh pear and apple, that bright citrus from the orange, some chewiness from dry cherries, and that great crunch from pecans. It all just simmers together into this complex, beautiful sauce that honestly just gets better as it sits in the fridge. Next up, the dish that causes so much last-minute panic at the stovetop, mashed potatoes. But not with this method, oh no. This is the ultimate set-it-and-forget-it solution. Okay, this is pure genius. Seriously. The night before, you do all the prep, you peel and cut the potatoes, put them right in the slow cooker insert with water and bouillon, and stick it in the fridge. In the morning, you just pop that insert into the base and turn it on. Hours later, you mash everything right in the pot, and here's the best part, it can stay perfectly warm for up to 3 hours. No stove, no last-minute mashing, no problem. All right, for our final round of recipes, we're looking at a couple of fresh takes on old favorites, bringing in some new flavors and textures to balance out all the richness of the meal. Let's talk about the great green bean casserole evolution. On one side, you've got the old school way, that canned cream of whatever soup, those kind of mushy beans. But on the other side, it's a total upgrade. Instead of canned soup, you've got a quick, rich sauce made from sour cream. Instead of mushy beans, you get crisp, frozen French-cut beans. And the whole thing is topped with buttery, cheesy cracker crumbs. It's a huge improvement, and yeah, you can assemble the whole thing ahead of time. After all those rich, heavy, creamy casseroles, your taste buds are going to be begging for something bright, something acidic, something crunchy to cut through all that richness. And that is where this incredible Brussels sprout salad comes in. Seriously, this might be the easiest make-ahead dish of them all. You can shred the Brussels sprouts days in advance. You can make that amazing warm bacon vinaigrette and just keep it in a jar in the fridge. On Thanksgiving Day, all you do is warm the dressing for a few seconds in the microwave, pour it over the sprouts, and give it a toss. Boom, a fresh, vibrant, delicious salad in less than a minute.
So, we've gone through 6 incredible recipes. Now, let's boil it all down to the core principles, the game plan you can use to have your own totally stress-free Thanksgiving.
Here are the 3 golden rules. First, make a plan. Decide what you're making on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Second, store things smartly. Keep those crunchy toppings and liquid dressings separate so nothing gets soggy. And third, and this is a big one, always account for the cold. A chilled casserole is going to need more time in the oven. It's just simple science.
And that brings us to the final and maybe the most important question. Imagine this. The turkey's in the oven, all your amazing sides are done, just lined up and ready to go. What are you going to do with all that free time? Pour a drink? Watch the game? Actually sit down and talk with your family? That, right there, is the real win.